I've got my little helper down here.
Right.
You're live. Tell you what, there was a button missing there. I'm going to blame my little helper here. This is Lynn. My Lynn. Come. Don't be shy. Where is she? There she is. You think I do all this button pressing? I can't do anything.
Bearing in mind that your son Sam had actually been here for about half an hour.
I know. So so I've had
instructions.
I've had everybody helping me out. So can you hear this guitar? If you can hear the guitar, just let me know. Just let me know. Because I'm quite new to all this paraphernalia. Right. First of all, thank you very much for tuning in last time. We had a lot of fun. The idea of these particular live streams is for you out there, wherever you're from, ask me something, play something. You know, somebody's just messaged in asking about capos. If you take a capo off when you're playing a guitar, and when you take it off, does your guitar go out of tune? Well, yes, always goes out of tune. So what you do is, I'll explain as we go along. I'm looking for your questions. I'll stay here until I get fed up, and by fed up I mean until you start vanishing. If you start vanishing, I'm off. Alright, because I'll go and watch the telly or something. But let's see if we can get at least an hour and a half out of it, because that would be great fun. So fire away with your questions. Those questions that come in with the super chats thing, they always go to the top of the list, so they're the ones that I always end up seeing first. So bear that one in mind, okay? It pays for all the tea and coffee and have you ever seen these before? These are called chewing nuts. These are designed to rip out your fillings, alright? So I'll be consuming those during the course of this little thing. And for my Japanese friends, do you remember this particular little snack? Alright? We used to advertise these in Japan, you know. Choco Flake by Morinaga. So if there's any Japanese friends out there, I've still got them, alright? I wouldn't eat them because they're about 40 years old, but there you go. Right, what are we going to play? Let's have a think. I'm going to talk today mainly about... I'll have a cup of coffee, please. Thank you. Coffee's on its way. I'm going to talk about how to simplify pieces of music that are otherwise deemed to be impossibly hard to play. All right. I try to do this on all the stuff, but there's one or two in particular. If I put them up as they are played by the original artist, then you will run away and think I'll never do it, and consequently, you know, I don't get as many views. So I'm going to have a little play around. I'm going to use this guitar just to demonstrate a couple of bits. This is a Vox guitar. It's called a Vox Apache. It's got a couple of unique things that you can do. First thing you can do is you can turn it up for a kick off. Hang on. So we can play it, you know, in your normal orthodox way, but also we can, if you want to piss your drummer friends off, which we all like to do on occasion, even though we don't tell them they are the most important member of the band along with the bass player, we don't tell them that, but we like to annoy them sometimes with little devices like this, because this particular guitar can do this. You can play all sorts of bits on it, so give it a bit of stick. Where are we? You see it? Do that. We can do disco. Let's have a thing. Just had great talk with Andy Summers of the Police. Gary, I'm going to somebody's just talking about the police there. Now, let's see if we can have a little... that's one of the reasons why I wanted to use this guitar. Let me just set it up. So we need a decent tempo, hang on. Let me just do this. To get a decent sound. Not that. Okay. We don't want too much distortion. Let me get into line, hang on. Can you see? Hold on. Can you see? Right. Now look at these shapes. These are ridiculous shapes. Just knock that off for a minute. When I show people, when I try to show you this, I can't get my head around with this camera. When I try to show people these shapes, they just immediately run off. So what I've done is I've done a simplified version. Now other people have done this, but I've sort of spent a little bit more time on it. This is the way, if you look at this, this is my idiot-proof way of doing things. Can you see that? And you can see the stretches. Where are we? Here. They're huge. They're really big. Because Andy Summers, of course, is a fantastic guitar player. But you can actually, with a little help from a capo, get around some of those big shapes. I'll try and demonstrate it now for you. Excuse me. I've eaten too many of those chewy nuts. So if I put this here, so instead of playing a big shape like this, we can play a nice simplified shape like this. I'm going to put this up next week. See these shapes here? That's what it was, and this is what it's going to be. Hang on. That's what it's going to be. Nice and simple. Alright, as I'll demonstrate now, hopefully. Tyler, thank you. See, two shapes. One here, two fingers. One here, one here. Did you spill coffee all over my thing then? Okay, we've got two. Here's our G. I call it G. I always refer to the shapes rather than the actual chord itself. We're playing in the key of A, but we're playing a G shape. Can't put it at the second fret, so it sort of puts it in A. All right, so we play the first shape with just two fingers. Second shape, we've got something dead simple, and this is simple. Honestly, anyone can do this. Third shape, bog standard C, 5-string version with your little finger poking on. What's going on, Lynn? What's happening? There's our C and our D. It's a D sus2. It's a D with that finger off. But it makes the whole thing easier, so... Every breath you take, etc. So that's what that can do. You can also have some great fun with it as a... I need to practice. Right, enough of that. But that's a great guitar for irritating drummers. A wonderful guitar, particularly my dear brother Al, he's a great drummer, percussionist. And it really irritates him when I point out that he is now... Is it indispensable? Yeah, I think that's the word. Right, so let's have a look at some of these questions, shall we? I saw the Rick Beato interview with Andy Summers. It's funny, you know, because When Andy Summers plays, and I mean this with the greatest respect, when Andy Summers plays Every Breath You Take now, when he demonstrates it, he doesn't play it in the way that he played it on the record. When he does it, you watch him, you'll see he plays it like this. He goes, when it should go, excuse the pleck tapping on this, I'm using this because it's easier for you to see what I'm doing with this particular guitar. Lots of guitarists do that. You know, they record something on a record, in this case Every Breath You Take, and we know it and love it for that one take that they did at that moment in time. Of course, the take after that would have been slightly different, and so on. But it's important for us, if we're going to try and copy these guys, to play it the way they did on the version that everybody knows and loves, in the way that we have to do. I mentioned this when I was doing Hotel California. You know, again, when what is it? The guitarist, his name escapes me at the moment. Don Felder. When he shows people how to play it, he plays it at the 5th fret instead of the 7th, which he explains why, because of his voice. But he actually plays it differently to the way he played it on the record, you know. Strange really, because you know these are iconic guitar pieces, and you would assume that they would do it exactly the same way as they did it on the album that sold millions and millions of copies, but they don't. More often than not, you know, the only musician I know that tends to really stick to the script is people like, you know, like Paul McCartney. When he does a solo, he'll insist that that's it's played that way all the time, much to the irritation of some of his players that he has with him, you know. But I think that's a good way of doing it. I think if you get something right, then you know it's right, and you don't want to mess around with it, you know. Let's have a look at some more of these questions. Could you do Buddy Holly? Words of love. Words of love. Whisper in your ear. Darling, yeah, it's D, G, and A. Everything he ever did. You first played Cavatina. Yeah. Now pick an easy one, why don't you? You got to warm up for these. Yeah, you got to warm up to those. I need a good 10 minutes on that before I do. Please, a Billy Idol. Don't know about Billy Idol. I like Billy Idol. He's great. Looking at Don't Come Easy by George Harrison. Now he wrote that for Ringo, and I think my brother Al does a great version of that. He actually did a nice cover of that one. What else have we got? What was the piece on the blue electric guitar? The one that was, I think it was Every Breath You Take by the Police. That was the bit. I think that's what you're referring to. Practice tips to change chords smoothly. Well, we did this. I mean, I'm not sure whether you're asking a question or whether or not you're acknowledging the fact that I talked about it last week. Let me get another guitar. Hang on. Just bear with me. So, I'll use this one. People ask what these guitars are. This one is a Martin. It's not a top of the range Martin, but it's a nice guitar. It's a DCP A5, whatever that means. And it's a Mexican one. It's a great guitar, but made in Mexico. I'm a bit of a snob. I tend to go for the American ones, but this was bequeathed to me, this guitar, by a beautiful friend of mine. So I treasure this one, and it really is a gorgeous guitar. So, changing chords smoothly. Okay, now, a lot of people, they don't actually believe what I'm about to say is what happens, but it does. Say I'm going to change from, let's keep it simple, from a D chord. Where are we? Where's the bloody thing? Say a D to an A. All right. The last beat that you'll do on any, well, it doesn't matter what song you're playing. Doesn't matter what song it is. Let's say we're going from a D to an A. The last beat you're going to play, downbeat on the D, will be like this. Say beat 4. Then there'll be a half beat, which basically is a simple way of saying an upstroke after beat 4. Now, at which point you will bring your fingers off. It'll sound weird like I've just done, but that's what you're going to do. And then when your fingers are off, you'll make the next shape in the air, which in this case I've just said is going to be an A. Okay, can you see that? Let me just try and position myself a little bit better. Okay, so D. I can't get my head around this bloody thing. Right, D. Upstroke with nothing on. I don't mean no clothes on. obviously, you know. No, I don't mean that. I mean nothing as in fingers, obviously. All right, let's do it again. So D. Upstroke with nothing on. And then down on the A. So let's say we were going to do a progression G, E minor, A minor and D7th using that particular approach, all right, to get a nice smooth change. I'm going to hit these strings open, no fingers on at all, on the and after the 4, okay, just to be clear, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and you're going to hear that's what I'm going to do, and every other guitarist that plays does that. They might not even know they're doing it, okay? I've heard players saying you shouldn't do it, and then the first thing they do is do it. All right, so I'm telling you, 50 years, I'm telling you, do it, all right? Trust me. Watch this. So I'm going to go from G to E minor. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and all fingers off. Sounds weird when I explain it like that and it's in isolation. E minor. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, I'm making the next shape in the air. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now I'm leaving my first finger on, going to the D7th because it's common to both A minor and D7, so I'll leave that one on. I'm not going to bother taking it off. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and start again. I'll play it with a bit of pace now. Now you can't hear those open strings when you're playing it like that. Now why is that the case? You know, why is it that we hit all the strings you know, with no fingers on? Well, this guitar, these style of guitars are, you know, a singer-songwriter-y sort of, you know, strummy guitar. You know, unlike a classical guitar where open strings are written into a piece of music in order for the player to get from one position to another. When we're just whacking hell out of all the strings all the time, all at once, we have no choice but to bring all the fingers off all the time, all at once. Okay? It's just the nature of the beast. Now, clearly, if you're doing a very slow song, you can get away with it. But even with songs that you will, you know, even, yeah, watch this. You can actually make a point of those open strings. They sound great. And the best example, I did this last time, but for those newcomers, I'll do it again. You know, the best example of open strings, you know, in a great guitar riff are things. I'll give you a couple of examples. The first one is one I tend to do all the time. A, because I love the riff, and B, it tells you exactly what I'm talking about, but in practical terms, so you can hear it. So. Now you'll know that is the intro to Jolene, but I'm going to slow it right down in front of you, and you look at how many open strings I'm playing. You know, half of it is just hitting open strings. Now, if somebody was strumming along to that didn't have the technical ability to play the picking, they'd do this. You know. You know, and there's tons of things like that, tons of examples where open strings are just used, you know, as part of the guitar piece. Right, let's get back to some of these questions. Hi Bob, how do you arrange pieces? There's loads of these coming up, so as I say, with the super thanks ones, get the ones first if I can get them. Here's our Kath here, our Kath from France. Playing with nothing on is alright with most instruments, but if you're on flutes, yeah, and also make sure you're not sitting in front of the window, I would suggest, Kath, for that one. Or to learn how to play B minor. Okay, bar chords. Why are people struggling with bar chords, folks? Come on! Bar chords. How do we play a good bar chord without making a pig's ear of it. Let me just put this guitar out of the way. The best way, when you're playing a bar chord, and they're not very nice, nobody likes playing them, I hated them when I was a kid. When you're trying to play a bar chord, the first thing you think you do, when you watch people, you think that they're doing this with their finger like this. Can you see that on the guitar right the way across there? Well, really they're not. The best way to play a bar is to use the side of your finger, you know, the bony bit here, okay? That's the bit that you use to do the bar. So you bar it like this, okay? That's how you do it. And then these other fingers, let's say we're going to play a G major. We'll curl in, but you'll notice that my fingertip, can you see that, is pointing away from me. I'm not trying to do this. And the best way then to get the positioning right is if you hold your guitar in front of you, which is at arm's length like that, your finger, the bar finger, will naturally roll into the position that you want it in, okay? Because the guitar's quite heavy, and if you just bring your guitar around, you'll do it. But when you're practicing bar chords, I remember the first songs I used to learn to practice bar chords on were songs like Nowhere Man by the Beatles. I deliberately played bar chords instead of the open version. So for example, E, B, A, E, F sharp minor, A minor, E. Things like that I remember practicing in order to get the bars right. Or just jumping down from your major to a minor. Clearly Bob Dylan was doing that when he wrote maybe John Lennon heard that. I get by when I see you walk by. Everybody nicks everything. Fennah, this is my thank you, Sam. Sam, $1.99. Thanks for the pizza. Sam was round here a little bit earlier, showing me how to operate this stuff because I can't do it. So I thought the least I could do was make him something to eat. You're welcome, Sam. I shall use your $1.99 to buy some more tea and coffee, and perhaps some more chewing nuts. I had these last week. I went to Southport, which is a holiday town up north of Liverpool, and I found these. But the next day I was in the dentist. I had to go to a private one because you can't get a national. Don't know what it's like where you live. You can't get a National Health Service dentist anymore. There we are. If you do some more super thanks things, perhaps I'll be able to afford to go back to the dentist having eaten all these chewing nuts. But they are beautiful sweeties, alright? So forgive me if you hear me slobbering. Okay, what else have we got? Let's see. Tom Petty. I love Tom Petty. The key, the trick to that one, if you were going to do that, what is it? Free falling. I think it's capoed at the 3rd fret. What's this? Chords are D, G, and A. But if you just do it like this, it's boring. The key is to keep this first finger here and play this note throughout the passage like this. And then just bring this finger over the top. She's a good girl. So that's a good one. What else have we got? Let's have a look. Someone just said, "You are the dead twin of Benny Hill." Do you know who Benny Hill is? Benny Hill was a fantastic comedian, a British comedian who was very big in the States, but unfortunately his brand of humour was banned. With all the political correctness, it wasn't allowed anymore. So I don't know whether to take that as a compliment. The dead twin of Benny Hill, there we are. But I did like him, he was great. I love all that stuff. That's the trouble with poor comedians now, they're not allowed to be funny. You can imagine them trying to write their jokes out thinking, Christ, if I actually tell this joke, am I going to be barred from this theatre, you know? We were doing a show in a theatre in North Wales. I won't mention it, but because they really pissed me off. And there's a fantastic comedian over here, but he's a blue comedian, right? So he's not everybody's cup of tea. Now, by fantastic, I mean he's well known and he's well liked, whether you like that type of humour or not. My attitude is, if you don't like him, that's fine. Don't go. Just don't go, or don't watch it on TV. Turn it off, you know. But a lot of people do like him, and but he's a blue comedian and he is rude. But this theatre in North Wales, they had him, you know, headlining there. He used to do his summer shows there, and then they decided that due to the now this is the bit that made me laugh. The inclusive policy, theatre policy, inclusive. That's a key word here. Inclusive. They had now banned him from performing. So by being inclusive, they excluded him. I don't get your head around that. That's weird, isn't it? How does that work? I don't know. And then you get other great writers, like the writer of Father Ted, which is a beautiful comedy series, absolutely stunning. It's one of my favourites. This fella was banned recently when he in the Edinburgh Fringe Festival because he didn't like his act. So you know, you've got to be dead careful what you can say and do now. I'll probably have people moaning at me now for saying, you know, what I've just said. I don't care. I do care really, but never mind. Ricky Gervais doesn't care. No, well, he's rich. See, if they're rich enough, they don't care. Certain levels of money transcend caring. Right, anyway, let's not get into politics. What else can we do? Somebody's asked about the chords D, G and A. You know, let me give you an example of the I'll give you the shapes. There's a D, there's a G. Let's do an A7th. The sun, here comes the sun. I say it's alright. D, G and A, look at the shapes. Okay, now the lesson here is that some of the greatest songs ever written only have one or two chords in them. You don't need to play lots of chords. What you need is a great melody. It's the melody that matters the most, followed by the lyric or the words. Okay, but melody first. It's the bit that everybody hums and sings. It's not the orchestra, it's not the bass or the drums or necessarily or the lead guitar player. It's the person that wrote the tune. That's why they get all the money. All right, so if you're out there thinking, how am I going to make music out of guitar when I can't play the guitar very well? Well, neither could Lou Reed, you know, neither could Bob Dylan, neither could, you know, the Beatles really. George could, but you know, I'm talking, you know, they weren't, you know, they'd admit it themselves, they weren't right at the top end, but they played enough in order to write absolutely beautiful melodies, and ultimately that's what matters. Even when you take these classical guitar pieces and pull them to bits, and if you were just going to play the chords to them, if I was going to play the chords to a great classical piece of music, well, look, this is how the chords would go. You know, but if I were to put the tune in, well, all of a sudden it all makes sense. But the chord underpinning all of that is like E minor, followed by an A minor and a B7th. And when they get, and with classical music, when they've played the E minor, A minor and B7th, they nearly always say, okay, let's do E major to an A major. They change the mood, okay? Because I mentioned the other day, I think it was another one, just by, you know, chords have faces. I was talking to my son Sam about this because he's in the process of putting together his audio book. I want to show you something. There we are. Check this out. It's a big bugger. you know, it serves two purposes. One, it's a brilliant read. It's made the bestseller chart in lots of charts in America and the UK, sci-fi. It's called Amygdala. It's a really strange, beautiful read. It really is. Check it out. Now, Sam, or Fennah as he's known, he stole my name. The fact that he's my son is beside the point. But if you put Fennah into YouTube, you won't see me first. You'll see him. Because Sammy's got over 300,000 subscribers because he's a wonderful writer and an animator, and his wife Carmen, they put together the most beautiful imagery and words in books and all that sort of stuff. It's absolutely fantastic. Go and check it out, you know. But anyway, he's in the middle of his audio book at the moment. But we were talking, he was in here earlier on, and I'm going to be, his Uncle Alan and myself are going to be helping him out with various elements of the book. And I was saying to him, he was telling me about the various characters and, you know, on the mood of particular chapters and all that sort of stuff. And I said, well, what I need to know as the writer, because we not only, my background is in pop music, but I've also done a lot of writing with Brother Al for telly. We did a couple of, about over 100 themes for Granada Television, which is a big TV channel over here in the UK. So, and the brief, they would give us a little insight. They wouldn't go into detail, but just a little insight in what the program was about, and then we would have to, you know, do the piece of music based on whatever it was they said. And I always have this thing that chords, guitar chords, have faces. You know, like for example, if you're going to write a happy piece, you would tend to stick with a major chord. Where are we? So say we're going to play the chord A. It's a happy A. No school in the morning. If it was a sad song, you know, you'd pick an A minor, perhaps. You know, if it was a bit of a sneaky song, you know, a bit deceitful. I always think sevenths are a bit like that. You know, yeah. I know what you're up to, mate. You can't pull the wool over my eyes. I always think a bit of a sneaky chord. A major seventh. And I don't mean to be mean, but this chord is for people who are a bit thick, all right? You know, they wander around like as if they haven't got a care in the world. They haven't got a care in the world. No. You know, sort of oblivious, vacant. Major seventh, nice, a beautiful chord though. A little bit of drool, perhaps. So major seventh. So if you're doing something that's a little bit, you know, those. When you watch those sitcoms, you know the sitcoms, da 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 da. Where did I put that thing, Charlie? I've been looked everywhere. You know what I mean. They always finish the theme with a major seventh. Okay. The other one is a creepy chord. Now this is the one that suits Sam's book more, because his stuff's all weird. You know, that's like the clown under the bed chord. It's like a minor ninth. I love that chord. We use that all the time. So we were doing all that, faces of chords. That's really important. No melody in rap. I actually know something about rap. This is Gary book. Thank you, Gary. Now, believe it or not, despite my age, I've actually been involved in a rap song. I'll have a coffee, please, Lynn. Thank you, sweetheart. I used to teach a really clever guy. His name was Craig Johnson, and he was a Liverpool football player. You know, an Australian football player. Great player. And he's down round with me and my mates because he wasn't that into hanging around with footballers. He was very into music, and he's down round with the musicians more, you know. He loved his football mates, but he used to just like talking about music. And I was teaching him how to play guitar. He was introduced to me by a DJ called Mark Jones, another good mate of mine from Radio City. And I got to know Craig quite well. And he said to me, I've got this idea for a song. It's a rap song. And I said, oh yeah, go on, you know. And he went on to sing these words with John Barnes was in it and all that sort of stuff. And he persuaded me to make a demo with him. So myself and Ian Lewis, our keyboard player, and Brother Al, we came, I think it was at my house or whatever, and we just made up this, what we consider to be the biggest load of crap you've ever heard in your life. I was a big Dallas fan, you know, the TV series Dallas, so we wrote all this stuff about Buckingham Palace and silver and all that sort of stuff, and we made this record in a studio in Liverpool, thinking it was going to go down the pan, as you would imagine. All the footballers came in and did a video, they all got drunk, and we had a lot of fun doing it. When the cameras came in, the TV cameras, we all hid because we didn't want to be associated with a cheesy football record. So it came as a great surprise that 2 weeks later, when I'm driving down to London, to hear that it was number 3 in the charts, you know. So it taught me a serious lesson. And of course, after that, after we made that rap record, you know, New Order, you know, the band New Order went on to do another one for England, and that was I think got to number 1. And John Barnes rapped in that. Now that wouldn't have happened if it hadn't been for our one. So let's get that straight. So anyone, I told you, even though I might not be a good rapper, I've done a little bit of it. I've had some success even in that genre, strange though it may be. Let's have a look what we've got. Where are we? Rob, what's your favourite tune on a 12 string? That's a good question. I love Genesis, you know, all that Genesis stuff. But I just love the sound of a 12 string. They just sound great. You know, where is my 12 string? Let me dig it out. Just sounds great, doesn't it? You don't have to do much to get a great sound out of it. I suppose. Ground control to Major Tom. That one is cool, or didn't know what time it was, the lights were low. Oh, oh, I leaned back on my radio. Oh, oh. Some cat was laying down some rock and roll, and that's all he said. That's a cool one. I like that. My Sweet Lord, obviously. Well, look at the chords. A7 to D, for God's sake. G to A. Here she is. Here she is. Let's try not to spill this. Oh, that one's gone cold.
You're talking too much.
I'm going to get to... I've been giving it this... I've been yapping. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Lynn's a great singer, by the way. Hang on, what have you done here? Something's gone. I've moved something. Oh, there we go. Yeah, my album. I say my album. The Junction 39 album. That one that you heard at the beginning as one of the tracks. Well, all the backing voices. Lynn did them. I didn't do them because they were too high. And Lynn got the audition by being able to sing. We were watching TV. I'm into science fiction, so Lynn. We were watching Star Trek, and she managed to sing it. No, perfect. So the search for my backing vocalist was over. But she did great. And you're on the next one, aren't you? We're back in there. We're doing another album. She doesn't know it yet. We're doing another album. We've already started it. Well, I have, and I'm just plucking up the courage to tell Lynn what bit she's going to play. All right, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Every time you go away, you take a piece of me with you. What?
I had to pay for that.
For what?
Sure
I know you did. I saw it. I got it. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I knew you wouldn't see it otherwise.
I know. I'm telling everybody about your new song.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll explain it. They'll find out. Every time you go.
oh yeah. I'm just real.
Oh no, don't worry.
Bye.
See you later. Thank you. You've got to have fun, haven't you? Let's have a look at more of these things. What else have we got here? Starman. I've just done Starman. Does that mean supper's ready? Yeah, supper's ready. I've done I did a tutorial for probably the oddest one that they do, which was the beginning of a cinema show, where each string, you know, these are paired up, these strings. They actually changed the tuning between each pair of strings, so it made it really difficult. Ziggy Stardust. What are the chords to Ziggy Stardust? Let's look at this. We've got a G, we've got a D, and we've got a C add 9, which is like an easy way of playing C. Great. What else could we do with the same chords? More Than a Feeling by Boston. These are great 12-string ones. Oops. Now I'm sure that, of course, was Wish You Were Here. David Gilmour, the great David Gilmour, my favourite electric guitar player. But if you, let's look at the chords and let's just look at how things can be borrowed. To put it politely, watch this. There's an E minor 7th, as they call it. A G. We're going to play a D sus4. What does that mean? It means you're going to play a D and leave your little finger on. That's all it means. And then it's like an A sus 4, whatever it is, with a bit of a G on it. But it's the same chords in effect that David Gilmour played for Wish You Were Here. Now I'm sure that Noel, Mr. Gallagher, who's a great songwriter, I'm sure he will have heard that, because when he did today is gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you, he must have heard. You see, we borrow everything, folks. We borrow everything. Think about it. There's only 12 notes, and that's including the octave of the E. All right. So they're not, But then again, how many phone numbers are there? Telephone numbers? How many lottery numbers are there? And they've only got 10 digits with those. So 12 is a lot more. Let's have a look at some more of these bits. Do a song with Lynn. Next time, I'll have to rehearse it. A lot of Pink Floyd things coming up here. Have you ever any interest doing any Steve Miller? Love Steve Miller. Thank you. By Led Zeppelin. I love Zeppelin. It's difficult with Zeppelin because if you play the obvious ones, and you got to have the voice for it as well. You see, this is another thing. Whenever you're playing, if you're out there now, doesn't matter whether you're performing to your family at all, or at the Budokan, which I've had the pleasure of doing. Wherever you're playing, it's no good picking a song that you can't sing because it's in the wrong key. Now, I'm a big Beatles fan, as a lot of you out there are, and I find it very difficult to sing Paul McCartney songs. I can do the Lennon ones because his voice is lower, and I've got a lower register, lower tone to my voice. But I find it very difficult to sing the McCartney songs. So when people sometimes say, "Oh, I can't sing," it's not that they can't. It's just that they're trying to sing a song that they may like, but it's not in the right key for them. And it doesn't matter how good a singer you are, if it's in the wrong key, you can't do it. So these are the artists that are out of bounds for me. You've got I would love to be able to sing this song. I'll give you an example. I'd love to be able to do this. Let's have a think. I'd love to do this. That's it. Let's get this capo setting right. I can't do it because it's too high. Rod Stewart. Ever since I was a kid at school. Now he sings it an octave higher. I'd love to be able to sing that song. It's a great one to do on a 12 string as well, but I can't because I just can't do it. It's too high for me. What else have we got? Let's have some look at. I'm here to answer your questions. Let's have a look. What have we got? Anything? Jackson Browne, great. Now, how about some Neil Young? I've done some Neil Young, haven't I? I've done Neil Young. Neil Young is fantastic. Let me get the other guitar. Which guitar shall I use? I'll use this one. Caught you knocking on my cellar door. I love you, baby, can I have some more? The damage done. I left the city and I lost my band. I watched the needle take another man. Gone, gone, the damage done. Needle and the Damage Done. I love Neil Young. Kath introduced me to Neil Young, I think. Or was it my other mate, Mark Thomas? And when I first heard Harvest, the album, I thought, this is a load of crap. I thought, this guy can't sing to save his life. And yet, within a couple of listens to this album, I suddenly realised that I was talking absolute nutter bollocks. Because this guy not only was a brilliant singer, and what makes a brilliant singer, his lyrics made sense. Everything he sang, he meant every single word. You know, it's a storyteller. That's what a singer is. A singer is a storyteller. And what the man did is he managed to put across every word on that album as if he meant every single word. And I think indeed he did. That aside, all the melodies on it were absolutely beautiful as well. So I've got a lot of respect for Neil Young. He's never afraid. It's a bit like David Bowie. Never afraid to take a chance of doing something different, you know. He always pushed the boat out. Bob Dylan was the same. So it's interesting, you know, when you think about it, this is why these guys stayed at the top all that time. They may not hit all the time. You may just miss the mark now and again. But by keeping that essence of their personality going, by saying to themselves, look, sod it, I'm not going to sing the same album again, you know, because I can probably make a few quid. They moved on. They kept moving on. This is a nice one. That's a great song to do. Harvest Moon. I mean, I teach all these, you know. For those people, by the way, who are interested in the online lessons, I do them one-to-one. You know, a lot of them from the States. I've made some great friends, you know, from all over the US, you know, and all over the world. So, and it works great on Zoom or even FaceTime. It's just like I'm talking to you now, you know, but playing, you know, in particular playing what they want to do. It's really great, and I learn a lot because I just love talking to people from all over the globe, you know, and having that sort of interaction through music, you know. It's absolutely beautiful. What else have we got? And you know, you ask me if I know them. Try and play. Give us some ones that maybe from the UK. Joan Baez. I grew up with listening to Joan Baez stuff. I think she did a song called, was it The Three Marys? Last night I was four Marys, tonight there'll be but three. There's Mary Beaton and Mary Seaton and Mary Carmichael and me. Always remember my brothers. you know, who I've still got with me, and my dad. I'm very lucky. But Joan Baez, yeah, I grew up listening to all that sort of stuff. For some reason, I can not get how you play James Taylor. You can close your eyes, can't get the verse. I don't know what that one is. James Taylor, he's another one. Now, James Taylor, when you listen to James Taylor, he always has a good band with him. You know, he's a great guitar player, and he always has a good band. But if you try to play with just fingerstyle, I mean, I love fingerstyle guitar, but if I was going to play a James Taylor song, say I was going to do his most famous one, which is the song by Carole King. First of all, I'd tune the effing thing up. When you're down in trouble and you need a helping hand, and nothing's going right, I'd use plectrum, because you can get all those little, get more volume on. But he's great artist, James Taylor. What else have we got? It was called Mary Hamilton. Thank you. It was indeed. Yeah. I only remember the tunes. These are tunes I grew up with. Harvest Moon. Yeah, we done that. Johnny Cash. Think about Johnny Cash. If you want to learn to play Johnny Cash, you've got to learn how to do this. Now watch this. Okay. Let's play in. He always uses. Let's play in the key. I've got to get this bloody camera thing sorted. You can see what I'm doing. Right. I'm going the wrong way. My brain is not working right. Okay, so here's, let's just say we're going to do Johnny Cash. We're going to play an A, D and E. So he tends to use this sort of rhythm. I hear the train a-comin', it's coming round the bend. I ain't keen the sunshine since I don't know when. And I need that. It's that sort of thing, isn't it? So it's quite a tricky little thing to do that with a plec. You're sort of hitting the root note, in this case the A string, 5th string, then a down up, and then a 6 down up, alternated. You'll notice my thumb. What's this going on here? Why am I doing this? Well, when I hit the A string, if I crack that string, it's going to sound crap. So what I do is I put my thumb there, so if I hit it, it don't matter. And then when I want to hear the E as the alternating bass note. But the simplest way to get a Johnny Cash sound straight away with relative ease is put the plec down, grab your 3 fingers like this, first finger on the 3rd string, second finger on the 2nd string, and your 3rd finger on the 1st string, okay, and your thumb on the 5th, and just go, can you see this? I hear the train a-comin', round the bend. I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. I don't know the words, I forgot it. But that's what happens. All Johnny Cash stuff is done like that. And it's a great way of... Those were the days, my friend, I thought they'd never end. We'll sing and dance forever and a day. We live the life we choose. We fight and never lose. Those were the... What's the chord? Days, oh yes, those were the days. Great pick to do that. Because there's your bass guitar on your thumb. A bit twangy. I love that. Right, let's get back to some more of these questions. Any nylon and steel I don't know what nylon and steel in your past? Silver Morning, Kenny Rankin. Some of these I don't know, to be honest with you chaps, because they're all very American, because I know a lot of my viewers are from the States. So I'm going to check when you've all gone. I always check these things out and say, right, I'm going to have to get my head around this one. Let's have a look. Who did that one? If you could read my mind. Look. If you could, let me just think. If you could read my mind, love. Is that it? I don't know the words, but I'll sing the song anyway. Da da dee dee da dee da dee da da dee 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 da dee da da. I'm busking here. I'm busking. I've got to go man to take my hat off and throw it on the ground for people to throw pennies in. Alright? There's pure busking that. If it's the song I'm thinking of, it was, who was it? I can't even remember who did it now. If you could read my mind, love. La-dee-dee. What a beautiful chord that is. And what's he doing? He's basically playing a G. But instead of playing a bar F, which he probably hates, he thought, I'm not going to do that. A, I can't do it. And B, it sounds ordinary. So he did this, he put one finger here and a couple here. Where are we? No, he didn't. Where did he do it? Come on. That's it, there. Oh, I can't do it now. Shit. See, as soon as you start thinking about it, you mess it up. That's it. He played it like this with just 3 fingers on. Don't ask me what the name of the chord is, I have no idea. It's an F something or other. What else have we got? Robbie, how to mute in strumming. That's dead easy. Okay, that's how to mute in strumming. Right, watch this. So now everybody, you know, when you see these bloody, you know, you see some of these tutorials and it says, oh, the strumming pattern for this is or that, you know, and it goes into minute detail about this, that and the other. Well, these are the 2 main strumming patterns, right? And honestly, they are. One is the straight rhythm like this. Down, up, down, up. And the other one is called a swing or shuffle rhythm, which is, you know, imagine a cowboy. And there's only 2. Now clearly you can take ups and downs from each of them. For example, if I was going to do, say I was going to do a C. I could do it like that, which is the way the Eagles would probably do it, you know, because it's driving and they want to keep it going. Or I could use in the same. Now you watch my hand. Watch my hand as I do these different patterns. First one. The second one. I did 3 different strumming patterns there. They all sounded different, but my hand was moving in exactly the same direction all the time. When I finish this, watch it again, turn the sound off, and you'll just see my hand doing this. And me pulling a stupid face. Okay? The question was about muting. How do we mute? Well, first of all, I never strum with my hand in a ball like this. You know, that's how an ape runs along the ground. Okay? We don't want to strum the guitar like that. We want our fingers out like a fan. So it's nice like a fan. Okay? That's how we want to do it. Okay? And the other reason is later on, you might want to use those fingers to do other stuff with. But if you learn how to strum like this, then you're buggered. Now, the most important reason why you don't do it like this, how the hell can you mute if you've got all your fingers? Because you need to be able to do this. If I do it from this angle, so if I said I was going to play, let's pick one with a good mute. Well, I don't know why I came here tonight. I got a feeling that something ain't right. You know that one by Steelers Wheel, Stuck in the Middle with You. What's the strum? Well, my hand is going to go. And the way I'm muting is like this. I'm sort of coming in at the guitar, striking the strings with the pleck, but I'm using this part of my hand that I've left open to catch the strings. I'm not going and sort of doing any unnecessary jerky moves. Watch again. Just practice doing this, watch. At first it'll go like this. What you don't want to do is this, and then try and, the mute is part of the stroke. always moving. And even with the shuffle rhythm, you know, you can do the same sort of thing. I would like to leave this city. Oh, da 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 da. You know, great songs. Easy strumming, 2 main patterns, and it's all to do with, you know, whether or not you're gonna, you know, what little variation on that theme. Your hand will never stop moving in those things. The only time it will is if you want like put a little jing in. Somebody asked me how to do that. For example, you know, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So only and after the 4, instead of just coming up, you've got to put a quick down in before it. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Dagger 1 and 2 and 3. And in your head, say that. Don't start counting numbers. When you're trying to do something percussively, say it in your head. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Dagger 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Dagger. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Dagger, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Dagger. And then say it to your hand. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Dagger, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Dagger, down, up, down, up, down, up. And by saying it and chanting it, you know, to the thing that you're trying to get to do it, eventually it'll work. You've got to do it slowly though. Start to go nuts. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Dagger, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Dagger, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down. Reggae is great for muting. It certainly is. Let's look at that strum again, because you might say, haha, how does it work with reggae? Okay, so watch this. With reggae, all you're doing is doing the upstrokes. You're muting the downstroke. Look at my hand. It's the same. It's the same. You know, this is the whole thing. Your hand movement. You know, it's whether or not you're going to mute certain ones or not. In reggae, you're muting. Now, another way of muting, watch this. Say, for example, I didn't want to do too much movement. Seasoned guitar players would do this, especially if you're using barre chords. They watch my fingers. If I do this, let me think. I'm going to do this. I'm going to keep my fingers pressed down. Now watch this. It's like magic. I'm only going to press the strings down when I want to hear them. No muting. See that? But what I'm doing is press, 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 press. Now I'm muting the bass string because I don't want to hear it. I could do a bar, but reggae we tend not to. Why? Why do we tend not to? Because we usually have a bass line going. We have a, you know. You know, that type of thing. So reggae is once you've got the muting thing sorted out, keeping your hand out, you can't do a mute like this. It's impossible. I need a chewing nut. Go and get a cup of tea and come back. I'm not going anywhere yet. Classical gas, Jesus Christ. You pick the hard ones. Hang on. I'll give you a few bits of it. Hang on. Practice. It's great though. Tommy Emmanuel, he does a great version of that. Well, he sort of does his own. He puts his own slant on it, but it's a great track to do. Classical Gas. What else have we got on our? Thank you very much to who's GT? Is it Sipe? Thank you very much for the $5 there, my friend. It will go towards my Sweetie collection. Thank you very much for that. Don't forget those people that put these super thanks up. They stick out like a sore thumb, and I'll go straight to them and try and. Now, if you're gonna pay $5, ask a question. I'm more than happy to try and help you out. Okay, just do that. What else have we got? Bob Marley, he was great. You know, the thing is, when the gentleman here, he had a great style and he made it look effortless. You know, but if you think of Bob Marley stuff again, everything was simple. These chords were beautifully simple, and they were played and enhanced by a fantastic band, all knowing what they were doing. Nobody got in the way of anybody else. A band, right? Let's talk about a band. A band to me is like a football team. It really is like a football team. Your drummer and your bass player, they're the unsung heroes of a band. They're at the back. You know, they're like your defender and your goalie. You know, they don't get the attention they deserve, right? So they're the most important thing. Here we are. Then we've got your midfield. Just on there, please. I've got a glass of water here. To get that no more coffee. You've got your midfield. They're like your piano player or your rhythm guitar player. They sort of look after the middle ground. They get a bit more attention, you know, a little bit more attention. And then of course you've got the egomaniacs in the band. You've got your lead singer and your lead guitar player. They get all the girls, all right, or all the guys, whichever way around it is. Whatever. I don't want to go there. You know what I mean. And they're like your centre forward, and you know your main strikers, your wingers, and all that. But individually, they don't shine. You know, you're better off having You're better off having a team of musicians that can all play reasonably well, but make a great band whereby everybody knows their place. Nobody gets in anybody else's way. They all do their job, and collectively they become a fantastic unit. In the way a great football team works, or any team, all right? Any team. Everyone knows their position and everybody does their job, and collectively, you know, they end up with a fantastic thing. That to me is what makes a fantastic band, and it's important that when we're looking at particular things. Let's go back to this thing now. Where are we? T-Rex. Now, yeah, you will never have heard this on a classical guitar in your life, other than with me. Well, the first thing that got me into pop music ride it on out like a bird in the sky. When you ride it on out like you were a bird. Fly it on out like an eagle in the sunbeam. Ride it on out like you were a bird. Oop. The capo slipped. But it's good when that happens, you see, because you now know that was played 100% live. I tried to do a solo on it. See if I can do it now. Oh, hang on. Oh! Let's do it again. Thanks, Bruce. Nearly. Wear a tall hat like a druid in the old days. Wear a tall hat and a tattered gown. Ride a white swan like a people of a Beltane. Wear your hair long, baby, can't go wrong. I love Bolan. He was great. Thank you very much to Gary Fitzpatrick. Thanks, Gary. See, all these little super thanks are coming in. Hey, listen, you shout them out and I'll do them. If I can do them for you, I'll give it a blast. Somebody wanted. This is an unusual request. I need the other guitar. Hang on. Which guitar shall I? Oh, where's the other one? Where's my Martin gone? Sorry, I'll use this one. while from now, if I'm not feeling any less sour, I promise myself to treat myself, visit a nearby tower, climbing to the top, to throw myself off, in an effort to make it clear to whoever what it's like when you're shattered, left standing in the lurch at a church with people saying, my God, that's tough, she stood him up, no point in us remaining. Might as well go home as I did, where's it go? As I did on my own, alone again, naturally. Gilbert O'Sullivan, what a beautiful songwriter he was. Now guess what? Old Gilbert, he couldn't write a note of music, and yet people like Burt Bacharach put him right up there with the greatest songwriters of all time. Okay, Gilbert O'Sullivan, brilliant Irish songwriter. I had the pleasure to interview him once. He was doing a concert at the Liverpool Philharmonic Hall, which I've also had the pleasure to play in there. But he said, I said to him, I mentioned how much I love that song because it's one of my favourite songs of all time, and he invited me on to play it with him, and I bottled it because I was actually doing some freelance reviewing for a local newspaper at the time, and I don't know, I didn't do it. I should have done, really. I regret it now, but there we are. But Alone Again, naturally, absolutely gorgeous song. What else have we got? Thank you, John Brown. I'm having a great time here. So am I am as well. Here's our Will, Mr. Nuttall. Will's one of my students, one of my great students. All my students are great, by the way. I love them all. What else have we got? See, a lot of them are older. When I say old, they're not much older than me. 71, who's this here? Bruce Rogers. Cheers, Bruce. Thanks for joining me. Let's face it, Bruce. There's nothing on the telly, is there? It's all shit. The news is boring. If not, it's depressing. So you might as well come here for an hour. You know, get out, just keep out the family's way. Come here, play your guitar. You're not doing any harm. Right, what else have we got? Beautiful song. Yeah, he is a legend. Who else? Hotel California. I've done that so many times. Please, you've heard me doing it. For those people who've never heard it, should we give it another bash? Everyone should know how to play this. I'll do a tutorial for this. It's a popular one. Desert highway is an example of a song that's too high for me to sing, folks. However, I can play the guitar part for it. Okay, and that bit I've just played actually goes all the way through the song. What else have we got? Bread. Oh yeah, bread. I've done some bread. I did which one did I do? If, which is a fantastic song by David Gates. Beautiful song by Mr. Gates. What else have we got? What else do we need to think about? Hiya, Nick Scarborough. There he is, another one of my wonderful students. In fact, he was here the other day, and we just ended up talking, didn't we, Nick? As in, we had a load of coffee and just blabbed. So I had to give him a free lesson, you know, because I'm like that. Because it was my fault. I was giving it this. I don't know what we were talking about now, but whatever it was, we didn't know much guitar playing. But thanks for joining us, Nick. What else have we got? Don't forget, just while I'm looking it through your many questions that are popping up, there's about 200 to 300 videos on this channel, many of which are some are quite complex, but there's a lot of easy ones. I've started every Wednesday doing a series of lessons purely for beginners, and I put them up every Wednesday. There's 2 gone up to now. Right from the beginning, from tuning the guitar to how to do chord changes, you know, all that basic stuff that you need to do. And I'm doing it for selfish reasons, because I know that once you've got your head around doing the basic stuff, you'll be able to bounce into the other tutorials. I do one every Saturday, a new one every Saturday, unless I'm doing a live stream like this. So the next thing I'm going to be doing on as a tutorial on the Saturday is I'm actually going to do this Every Breath You Take, do the simplified version. In order that you can do it. Now, There's a bit in the song which features, everybody struggles with the chord E flat, and I've got a cheat on this. So if ever you come across a song that's got E flat in it, do this. All right, watch this. You know how to play C. Now you've got to play a full C. Okay. If you take that full C and move it up 4 frets, but don't play the first string, that is E flat. But it's safe you're doing this, putting a bar on, or even worse, having to do it like this. You just take the C that you all know, and as long as you don't play that first string, you're safe. If you play the first string, it sounds shite. It's a great Irish word. So don't play the first string, but it's a great cheat, and we're going to need it when we do. That bit. So we need to do that. So I've worked out a beautiful cheat. Oh, thank you very much to S. Oh, thank you. Ski Boot. Love the channel, Rob. Can you help me out with Streets of London? Yeah. Well, first of all, we need a capo at the 4th fret, I think. Now, you know, I did some Travis picking. You know, so if I was just going to play this as a straightforward Travis-y pick. Now he sort of goes. Have you seen the old man in the closed down market, kicking up the papers, in other words, with his worn out shoes? But it's all to do with that Travis style of picking. So where are we? So I will try and do a proper tutorial for that one, because it is the most beautiful song, but it's really this sort of, I did this Travis pick thing whereby you just play the outer, and if you learn how to do that simple thing, 5 2 4 3 5 2 4 3, and just change the root note. Look back where it says Travis picking in 10 minutes. I'm not joking when I say 10 minutes. It's not one of these things you just say, oh yeah, sure George, pull the other one. I mean it. You will be able to understand it in less than 10 minutes. Clearly you'll have to practice it a little bit, but what have you got to practice? Let's just quickly look at this. You've got to practice doing this. Block the strings. You're only going to use fingers 1 and 2 and your thumb. Okay? And these two will look after these 2 strings here and here. And all I want you to do, and say it in your head, 5 2 4 3 5 2 4 3. That's all you do. You don't play a chord. Da, da. Just do this. And think of it, you're playing the outer strings, 5 and the 2, there. And then you're going to play the inner strings. Outer, inner. Say whatever you like, as long as you remember it. Outer, inner, outer, inner, outer, inner, outer, inner. Somebody's mentioning the Nichols ice cream shop. Is Nichols ice cream shop still open over the? Yes, it is, and it's still the best ice cream shop in the world. All right, it just is. It's a beautiful. The one next door is good as well, actually. But everyone goes to Nichols. I think because it's got more of a sort of facade, a nice sort of summery facade. The other ice cream shop doesn't have the facade, and I think that's probably why it doesn't sell as much ice cream. But it is a good shop, the other one. But you know, it's a lesson there, isn't it, in presentation and all that stuff. So anyway, getting back to the pick. 5 2 4 3 5 2 4 3 5 2 4 3, and then put a chord on it. Let's put a C on. Have you seen the? Let's go to a G. Oh man! Now I'm just going to move the bass note now to a 6 because I'm not playing C anymore. That's the bass note for a C. So a G. Same pick, except I'm just changing that one note to an A minor. So back to the 5th string, back to an E minor, so I'm going to play the 6th. And sort of. So how do we get a smooth transition? I can hear you say, how do I do it smoothly? Well, every time, at the end of each cycle of the strum, it's a third. I hit a 3rd string. 5 2 4 3 5 2 4 3. Every time I hit that 3, I'm going to bring my fingers off. when I do it, when I'm going to change chord. So I'll exaggerate. 5 2 4 3 5 2 4 3 5 2 4 3 5 2 4 3 5 2 4 3 6 2 4 3 6 2 4 3 F 6 2 4 3 6 2 4 3 C. But you don't hear it when you're playing it. Of course, when you've got that far, then you can just embellish it. Alright, so we can do that one. As I say, if you want to learn these things in depth, people come to me privately. Alright, I'm not going to talk all that now because I don't want to bore you with all that sort of stuff, but privately, I don't like discussing finance. If you want to know what the rates are, just message me and we can do it. But online works great if you're in different parts of the world. All right, just message me through whatever Blue Note Guitar School. That's the name I use. It's just me. You're not. If anyone's going to teach you there, it's always going to be me. All right, hat and all. What else have we got? Let's have a look. From the Blue Ridge Mountains. Oh, the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia. It's a great one. Yeah, where are we else? Jolene. I've done that one. Jolene. I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Yeah, it's great, isn't it? It's great, that one. The Wind Cries Mary, beautiful track by Hendrix. I did a fantastic, and I'm saying this myself, I'm going to blow my own trumpet, folks. Why would I do that? Because other people that blow it for me blow it out of tune. I did a fantastic, and it is good. I've heard it myself, and I thought, you know what, that is good. I did a Little Wing. I even borrowed a guitar to do it on, and I did a taster for it because I used to do tasters, and what I used to do is I'll put a taster up. If I get enough people watching it, I'd do the tutorial because they take time to put together, as you can imagine. So I did this taster one, and it got quite a few views, but not a lot. And I thought, well, they probably want the tutorial. So I spent ages doing this bloody tutorial. And again, so many people probably thought they couldn't do it. They didn't really watch it. But that's their Little Wing. Alright, so if you want any great Hendrix, go and have a look at that one. That's one of his best ones, it's beautiful. Don't Think Twice, Dylan, yeah, Ralph McTell. What else have we got? The Deer Hunter theme, I've just done that. I think that you're talking about, I need to practice for these. Oops. It's out of tune, this guitar. Who didn't do any Donovan songs? Who didn't do any Donovan songs? Donovan was the English, or he was Scottish. Great guitar player, Donovan, but very simple player. But played beautifully simple tunes that became massive hits. He did things like which one? We're trying to think. In the chilly hours and minutes of uncertainty, well, I long to be in the warm hold of your love and mine, to feel you all around me and to take my hand along the sand. But I may as well try and catch the wind. Should we do a solo? Oops. But I may as well try and catch the wind. Right, now I cocked up there, but I don't care. There's a way we get around it in the, we do care, of course we care. Before I cared even more, I'd like to thank Alec De Gabriel, I think that's how you pronounce it. Oh, thank you very much, my friend, for the $9.99 cents for the. That'll pay for some more sweeties for me and some more coffee. Which reminds me, I need a quick swig. If Lynn's listening, this one is going cold now. Jesus Christ, this one's gone cold. Forgive the blasphemy, I mean. What were we talking about? Yeah, there's a way. If ever you make a mistake, right? I shouldn't be telling you this because I'm giving away the old trade secrets, right? But whenever you make a mistake, you just look the audience in the eye. You go, make it a duff chord, and you just keep going. If you've got a musician next to you, you'd look at the audience and give him a dirty look as if to say, and then they will immediately assume it was him. I do it all the time with my brother Al. I'll cock up many times, but I'll just go like that as if to say, and they'll all think it was him. But the best way to do it, seriously, is you just carry on as if nothing has happened. And it's a bit like I was talking earlier about Father Ted, which is a beautiful TV series, comedy TV series. And there's an episode where Father Ted, the priest, he loses a bet, and his forfeit is to kick his Bishop Brennan up the arse, and he has to do it, and and he's terrified of this. How do we get onto this? He's terrified of Bishop Brennan, but it's decided. But he must do the forfeit, otherwise he lose all credibility. So it's decided by his daft mate Dougal that if he kicks Bishop Brennan up the arse, and then just carries on as if nothing's happened, the bishop would not believe that he would be brave enough to do it. And as long as he just carries on as if it never happened, then he'd get away with it. And that's what happened. If you haven't seen it, then watch it. But we call it, if we cock up, then it's called doing the Bishop Brennan. All right. So I shouldn't have told you that, but it's true. But I'm glad I did, because you can go and watch Father Ted now. If you've not seen it, look it up. If you're in America, go on YouTube and just put Father Ted kicking Bishop Brennan up the arse. It's so funny, you will laugh your head off, and you'll know exactly what I mean when I'm talking about not letting the audience know what's going on. Right, what else should we play? Universal Soldier. That was a good one. I don't know whether I can remember that. He's 5'2" and he's 6'4". He fights with missiles and with spears. He's all of 21, but he's only 17. Been a soldier for 1,000 years. Like that, isn't it? Last time I played that, if I played it at all, must have been about 21 myself, and I'm not that anymore. But it's a beautiful song. Donovan didn't write that. I don't know who did, but lyrically, the lyric will never ever go out of style, go out of fashion. If you look at the lyric today and look at what's going on in the world, you'll see that Universal Soldier, the song, it doesn't matter what creed, religion, wherever you come from, the lyric says it speaks for everybody. Where are we? What else have we got? Fields and Athenia. Oh, working class hero. I do that, but I have to say the F word. Lindsay had to say the F word for me.
No. You?
I hope you don't. No, mind you don't tread on the guitars, please. You've already spilt the coffee once. Ow, that's hot. That Jesus. You did that on purpose.
I know, we can see.
What about you now?
Do you think I'm stupid?
What was the song? Oh yeah, Working Class Hero. Yeah, look at this. A minor, for God's sake. This is when John Lennon thought he was cool saying F. Soon as you're born, they make you. Oh, what is it? As you're born, they make you feel small. Giving you no time instead of it all. Whatever. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like that song. But John Lennon was not a working class hero, right? John Lennon, for those people who've been to England, you go and look where John Lennon went to school. Let's put it like this. His school, right, had a bell tower. Had a bell tower. And he lived with his wonderful Aunt Mimi in a beautiful part of Liverpool suburb, right? It was a posh area, posh area. And he lived there, John Lennon. So he was not a working class hero. He had a rough ride of it as a kid, but he was no working class hero. I'll tell you who was. Ringo Starr was. He lived in a right shithole, you know. And I mean that with the greatest respect, but anyone that knows that area of Liverpool, that was rough, you know, that really was rough. Right on the Dockland, you know. And George, you know, he didn't have it much better. He was from Speke, where the airport is. And Paul, you know, I think Paul travelled quite a lot. In fact, at one time, Paul McCartney's family lived literally about 2 minutes from where I am now, where I'm sitting now. So when his mum died when he was a kid, they travelled around a little bit. And of course, Paul's got family at the moment in Housewood, still on the Wirral. He's still here quite often, you know. Probably going to Nichols' ice cream shop as well, okay, because he's very loyal like that. What else have we got? We got where are we? I'm looking at all these great songs that we've got coming up here, you know. Oh yeah, you've got to like. Somebody mentioned that to me. If you like something, does that mean? I think if you like it, it helps get the more views on the channel. I think. Maybe it doesn't. I'm not sure. Who knows? I'm not sure. Then how easy to? I don't know what I've just done. Have I pressed a button? I don't know. Are we still here? Are we still going? I don't know. I don't know. Webcam. Are we still going? I'm not sure. Just I don't know what I've done. Have I pressed the wrong button? I don't know what I've done. Have I pressed the wrong button? Please help me. Say something. Please say something. Please say something. I might have to ask Lynn to see if this is still working, because I don't know. Lynn, are we still working? I don't know. Tell me if it's working. Tell me. What can I press? Are we still going?
Yeah.
I don't know. See, I've got Lynn here because I was going to say something rude. I don't know what I've done. So I've got my young helper here. Now, as long as it's working, I don't care. As long as people can still see me playing, I'll just have to blab. Your little head. Look at this. Little gnome. Little pixie. Oh, why is that camera there? I don't know. I'll play a little song. Don't know if it's working. Are we working? I don't know whether we're still working or not. Hopefully we are. Hopefully we're not. There's something flashing here. I don't know what that means. Does that mean anything? Are we working? I don't know. I don't know.
It's fine, but you can't see the
Oh, it's fine.
questions.
It's fine, but I can't see anything.
I can't see the questions.
All right. I wonder how can we get to see those questions again?
Yes.
So I can't see your questions, folks, which is rather problematic. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say, should I say thank you at this juncture? Should I say thank you at this juncture? Eh? Or should we try one more time to get these things going?
Maybe. I'll have a go.
Oh, go on then, let's just see if we can get it going. Right, for those who, if this suddenly goes off, folks, blame Lynn. You're sitting here. You do realise people can see your face.
Of course.
You know. It's like hot. Jesus Christ. You know, so we're gonna see if we can get this to work. If it doesn't, I'm going to be back on Wednesday with these beginners tutorials. It's the third one. So we'll be sort of we'll be moving on from obviously from 1 and 2. Next Saturday I'm going to be doing an in-depth look at this Every Breath You Take, and also a little in-depth thing on how I make these charts up, because you know, you might be able to make them up yourself. I started off doing these for me, did them for myself, so that's why I call them idiot proof. I'm not referring to you, I'm referring to, there's a lot going on here. Here we go. Yeah, sorry, I can hear something going on in the background.
No, that's my phone.
I know, yeah.
That's you talking.
Yeah, I know. All I hear is me talking. Next Saturday we'll be doing, the every breath you take. We'll get that done. Look at the things. Also, just as a little heads up, I've not forgotten. I'm a believer. We can do that one. See, I've got some tracks here that I would put them up, but I know most of you will just run off. Prelude number 11 by Terriger. That's a gorgeous one to do. You don't know. I've just listened to them. And Stephanie, Lindsay Buckingham, one of my other students, Steve Ward, Professor Steve Ward, I might say. Give him his full title. He always comes here with sort of, bet you can't do this, Rob, type of thing. So that was one of them. So if ever anyone wants to learn any of those things, you're more than welcome. Right, I can't see what the hell's going on. For those people who've sent one of those super thanks things, thank you very much. I'm very grateful to those. Remember, if you want to contact me regarding private tuition, you can. You know how to do it. We can do it online, and I'll send you what the rates are for all that sort of stuff. It's not dear. We have a lot of fun as well. And those people who want to know what this is, we used to advertise this when we were in Japan. In fact, the person that advertised it before we did it was Twiggy, the model. It's gone back a bit though, isn't it? But we used to do this. We had this little dance doing this on it. In fact, if you go on YouTube and you put Buster, which is the name of my band, and Choco Flake in it, I've never watched it because I find it so embarrassing. We had to learn how to do this silly dance whilst holding this box or boxes like this and doing this. Okay, but it was worth a lot of money, at the time. I don't know how much it was worth because we never really got that much of it, but it was a lot of money. It was a 6-figure sum, and this was in the late 70s, so it was definitely worth somebody doing it. But we were the ones who had to make ourselves look daft and do this particular silly dance. But the good news is, one of the songs that Pete Lay and I wrote was a big hit on the back of it because they used that song in the commercial, a song called Dance With Me, because we had we had quite a lot of hits over there. So that was good fun. I'll tell you all about that as we go along, because people like to know who it is that's teaching them and what qualifies me to be able to tell you what to do. Well, nothing really. It's just that if you want to, learn how to be a performer, I've been performing for non-stop, for 50 years. So it's interesting. In fact, I took some stuff out. Let me show you something before we go. Might interest you. That was just my guitar going clunk. I thought I'd dig these out. When I was 15, right? 15, I was a young whippersnapper, 15, which was 50 years ago this April. Me and my little band made this record. See? It's got a coffee stain on it. Lynn's probably been all over it. But there's me there. See that little chap there you can see? With holding the guitar. That's me. I've still got that guitar. It's my Fender Telecaster. So we made this, and we used to sell these in the cabaret clubs when we used to play when we were not at school, weekends, and in the weekends and all that. And that little record, got us signed to RCA and enabled us to make all these boxed albums and this and all these other records. So it was great. It literally kick-started all that. We did box sets and all that sort of stuff. That was wonderful. So this one record, a little indie thing really, kick-started a whole career, and we had a load of hits. And then after that one, we did this. When we were sort of, when the Buster thing finished and we all came back to England, and punk rock had taken over in a major way, and we thought, oh shit, all the music we were playing, and it was all very fashion orientated and teeny bop when we were doing it. We thought we can't try and sell that here. It ain't gonna work. So we were not with RCA anymore, and we were out of a deal. We didn't have a deal, so we made this little record. Now this is again, it was a little independent thing called, and I thought of the name because a local radio station called Merseyland Alternative Radio used to play our demos. So we did a song called Alternative Radio and named this our band, or what became the band. It was basically Buster but with a different name, so that the radio stations wouldn't know that it was us. So we ended up entering a battle of the bands, a rock battle of the bands, in Liverpool, which we won because we were a great live band. In fact, the gold album what we got was for a live thing. But that resulted in all these records. You know, you see them all. You know, we did tons and tons of records with alternative radio, and still make records and albums now. So those little. Why do I talk about this? Well, those little records that we made at the beginning, which we paid for, they led on to all these other things, because you've got to put some of your own money in sometimes in order to get things going. Okay, you can't always expect other people to do it for you. You know, they'll help you. You know, but really, you've got to, if you've got belief in your work, then you'll do it. I've just been watching something, funnily enough, on the news about the Brits, and what's it? There's a female singer called, is it Ray? I don't know. I'm not that familiar. But the story behind her is that she'd made this album. Nobody wanted it. The record company didn't want it. No major would touch it with a barge pole. So she financed it herself, and it went on to get rave reviews. And now I think she's up for 7 Brit Awards tonight. So there's a lesson there. All right, a lesson there. You know. Always remember that the cleverest people in this world, whether it's Albert Einstein, he was told he was an idiot, right? He was an idiot, he was told. What do you know, Mr. Einstein? You know, you're just a patent clerk. You know sod all about science. The Beatles, right, were turned down by everybody. They were signed in the end to a comedy record label. People might not know that. A comedy record label. A comedy record label that I'm pleased to say, my little band, there we are, were the first ones to re-sign to that label when they relaunched it, Parlophone. And there we are, Valley of Evergreen, and we made this little record. It was banned in Ireland because they said it glorified war, which of course it did not. It was the exact opposite, but you know what the press are like. So that scuppered things a little bit, but it gave us a lot of publicity. So it enabled us to do all those other records on the back of it. But you know, whenever anyone tells you you're shite or they don't know what they're doing, take that as a compliment, because everybody that's ever succeeded in this world, everybody has been told the crap, all right? But it's the ones that have the tenacity to tell them to get stuffed and just keep going. They're the ones that always win in the end. And they're not always the most talented. They've just got the most tenacity and they just keep going. And we have an old saying in over here, probably in America or the equivalent, if you throw enough shit at the wall, some of it's bound to stick, all right? So I'm going to leave you with that thought, all right? And in the meantime, thank you very, very much for your company. Thank you to all those people who've made those little donations. I really appreciate it. They all help, actually. They buy the tea, they buy the coffee, and it makes me realise that you really like what's going on, all right? Because I really love doing this. It's fantastic, and all this helps, because it does take a bit of time to put these things together. So it helps. So when you do things like that, it makes it a little bit more worthwhile. So thank you for that. You don't have to, but it is appreciated. Right, I'm going to get off. I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to annoy Lynn. I don't know what she's done wrong yet, but I'm going to think of something. And then tomorrow morning, I start teaching at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. I start teaching. Right, it's early. Such is the popularity of this hat. So I'll see you all on Wednesday if you want to join me for those. It's not live stream, but it's a new tutorial on Wednesday. For the beginners. On Saturday we're going to be looking at Every Breath You Take and a few other bits, and I will be joining you again live the first Tuesday in April, whatever that day that is. I'll tell you, I'll let you know when that is. But in the meantime, many thanks for joining me tonight. I've really enjoyed it. Hope you have too, and I will catch up with you very, very soon. Remember, if you like any of the music, you can go to robfennah.com. You can find stuff on there. If you want to buy any bits and pieces, then you'll find it all there. Alright, but thanks for your company tonight, and I shall see you soon. God bless. Bye bye. And how do I end this? There we go.